Panties in a t-shirt. I'm about to be late for work.
So we are talking about the strange little horror film called House of Bodies. This one's only just been released in 2016, although I believe it was completed a few years ago. Now, House of Bodies is directed by Alex Merkin and has a pretty damn good cast. You have Terrence Howard, you've got Peter Fonda, you've also got a small cameo from Queen Latifah. And the story here actually has two concurrent storylines that are kind of run side by side that somewhat connect at the end. The A storyline, the main storyline, basically involves this house which used to be the home of a serial killer, or alleged serial killer. This is actually who Peter Fonda is playing, but he's actually in prison at this point. And basically it's been turned into this kind of like sort of murder slash sort of sex kind of porn site, basically, where there's a bunch of girls there. People kind of, it's filled with kind of webcams, and people kind of log on and kind of get the girls to do weird things and like sex and web chats and stuff, that kind of thing. There's one guy that lives there as well, and the kind of the A storyline focuses on this kind of this new girl who's kind of entered this house, and there's kind of like this deaf guy who's kind of like log on, who sort of takes a shine to her, basically. And then we have an actual, what appears to be a copycat serial killer entering the house and kind of getting through the girls, shall we say. But he doesn't actually turn up, I have to be honest with you, until 50 minutes into the film. So we have nothing to do with, no killing, nothing, until nearly an hour into this film. And it's not a long film to begin with. The second storyline basically is a conversation between convicted killer, played by Peter Fonda, and the detective Terrence Howard, basically, who is kind of not sure that his case is finished, basically, and he's trying to following up on this seemingly copycat killer. And obviously, it's revealed throughout the film all the kind of the origins of that are, basically. So that's pretty much it. When we actually, like I said, it's a good 40 to 50 minutes of setup on this, and we're literally procrastinating the movie. It really is. Then we kind of get into the actual the murder type part of the film, and I have to say it's kind of done in quite a poor fashion. The killer is just very unconvincing, and just kind of like is walking around the house quite happy to kind of be on camera and everything like that, and the actions that people take are just ridiculous, and no one thinks to call the police, things like that. They're just very silly, kind of like haven't thought it through type situations. I personally think, and I don't know this for a fact, this is only speculation, but this film was filmed in two parts, and the kind of the A storyline was filmed before and kind of maybe partly abandoned, and then they've gone back and then added the extra scenes involving Peter Fonda and Terrence Howard, and also Queen Latifah. I feel that the scene that she's in, which is she's basically a web counselor to the deaf guy, it looks like it's kind of been superimposed, and so I think these scenes have been added later on to complete the film, to kind of give it this the bigger names kind of like maybe kind of set it with, basically. But to be honest with you, they don't have a lot of bearing on the plot, these kind of bigger names. It does have a good cast, I will say that, despite that. So that you do, it's interesting to see these kind of more established actors in a kind of like a real B-movie film. And it does have some interesting ideas, perhaps, as well. I actually quite like the scenes between Terrence Howard and Peter Fonda. They are well acted. There's no getting around it. And the revelations that happens there, I think, are quite good. But the A storyline, the kind of the main storyline involved in this House of Girls, that's complete crap, I've got to say. It doesn't make sense. People make stupid decisions, and no one thinks about calling the police. The killer is just this kind of lumbering non-entity, basically, with no charisma, and kind of just doesn't seem... I don't know how this guy hasn't been caught, let me put it like this. The forced kind of chemistry between well, I say chemistry, lack of chemistry between this deaf guy and this kind of like the girl who we're meant to believe is this kind of like, oh, she's more the Virginia type. Come on. I don't know, it's just rubbish, to be honest. That portion of the film is, and that's the main bit, is unfortunately not good. So I can see why it was maybe abandoned and kind of extra bits added in, which are a lot better, but they only form a minor part of the story, to be honest with you. So it's a bit of a hot mess, this film. It does have a few good elements, but ultimately I would say, for looking at it as a whole piece of work, it's not an interesting film. It overall is a poor horror film. So I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.